All right, for 9.8, our first section is graphing. Graph the provided equations. What do you know about the equation that helps you to graph the function? When I look and I compare this top left equation to the top right, what do I know? That they won't be the same graphs. They'll look a little different. Do you know what they'll look like? Yeah. Yeah, one will be a line and one will be exponential. So when I graph this, it should be a line. If it's not, I made a mistake somewhere. I'm going to plug it in on my calculator. I have a -6 parenthesis, a blank. I have an X, the letter X, but I'm not going to put it in yet. +2, close, +7. I'm going to re-highlight inside. Ooh, let's just see. So I'm basically on my calculator finding points by plugging numbers in right here. Somebody pick a number that you want to try. 0? 0's at -5. Does that fit in this graph okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. 0, -5 is a point. Right? Somebody else pick a number to plug in. Should we get rid of that 0? 1. 1. Plug in a 1. 1 is at -11. That fits on here. If it did not fit, then I would have needed to go the other direction. What?
If it didn't come graphing, you do plug in negative number.
Yep. So then I would just plug in a negative number, and it would fit better if I needed to, but I don't. This fits on my graph currently. So 0 is down 5. And +1 is down 11. Do those points, I would draw my line. Now because the x is big and it's in line with my equation, that's why I know it makes a line linear. When I move over to the right, my x is no longer in line, it's now up in the power, it will be exponential. So it's going to curve when I plot points. On my calculator, I'm going to type 4 times 1/2, and then I'm going to fill in numbers up in this top box. I'm going to plug numbers in. Four times 1/2 to the power of, pick a number. 0. 0 is at 4. So I'd write 0, 4. Another number. 2. If I plug in a 2, it is at 1. Let's see, so it's kind of hard to see. So 0 is at 4. I would click here. 2 is at 1. I would click here. Do I draw a straight line through? It needs to curve, and it's going to curve down this direction. If you are nervous that you might go the wrong direction if you're graphing by hand, I could change this to the power. Maybe. I could change it to a -2. This is just extra to help me graph. -2 is at 16. That can help guide your curve if you need it. On your computer, you only need 2 points and it autofills. Alright, we're going to do the next two. They are similar. One will be a line, one will be exponential. If you want to work ahead, you may. And try and graph them on your own and then compare your graph to mine. I'm going to go to the bottom left graph. My equation is -9/5 parenthesis x plus 3 minus 8. This is where I will plug in my number. My calculator. I would do -9/5, parenthesis, I leave a blank, plus 3, close, minus 8. Pick a number to plug in front of the plus 3. 2. -17 is too far off my graph. Can you see how it won't fit? So I'm just going to pick another number. 0. -13.4. Let's try another. -2, still a decimal.
-5.
-4. -3. Oh. -3 works. Let's see. -3 is at -8. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And that was too big again, so I need to go the opposite direction. So we said -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. -8 gives me a +1. I was clicking kind of fast, if that makes sense. I was going until I found whole numbers. -3 down 8. -8 down 1. And it should be a line. Graph on the right is exponential. I have an x up in the power. This is where I will plug the numbers in. Five times 4 to the power of something. There's a little box. In that power, pick a number. 0. 0's at 5. Bless you. Let's pick, I'm going to do a 1. 1 is at 20. 0's at 5. 1 is at 20. Is this going to be a line? Should I have it go straight through? No. When it's up in the power, it should curve. If I need guidance curving, I can plug a -1 in. And that's a fraction. It would be -1. It would be 1. Which would be around there. And it won't go past the x-axis. It'll flatten out above it. Any questions? Turn the page. We need to write an equation for the line. It says use x and f of x for your equation. You have two options of how you can write this. I can find that the y-intercept is 4 and the slope is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2 to get to the next point that crosses at a whole number. Up 5 over 2. Because the line's going up, it's a positive 5 over 2. F of x equals my slope with an x plus 4. That is one option. If you picked a different point, so let's say I picked this point at -6 down 11, and I found the slope. Up 5 over 2. I can write my equation in point slope form, which would be opposite of -6 is +6 with a -11 at the end. You choose one. Do not do both. You just pick one equation that you like writing and write that one. You do not need to write both. I'm going to go down and have you try this line. You may choose either formula to write it in. You may write it in slope intercept, or you may write it point slope. Take one that you like and try and see if you can get it correct. And we will check it. Does anybody have a favorite one, the purple or pink? Either one works. No preference? Yeah.
The y-intercept.
You like the y-intercept? Yeah, that one is nice because you just put the +4 on. You don't have to type as much. I like that one too. So I'm going to try this bottom one. I'm going to do the slope-intercept first. The slope-intercept is at 2. Or y-intercept, sorry, that was weird. Y-intercept is at a +2. And my slope, you can do it different ways, but you have to be careful. It's 5 up. My rise is 5, and my run is 2, so it'd be 5/2. But this would be marked incorrect. Does anybody know why 5/2 would be marked correct? Why?
In negative.
Yes. So line's going down. I should mark it negative. Good job. Which means f of x equals -5/2x plus 2. Did anybody do the point slope form? The pink one? Point slope? I'm going to do it just in case someone watches the video later. It looks like it crosses here at 2, -3. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/2. Down 5/2. Slope, opposite of +2 is -2. And then the -3 is tagged on at the end. And remember, you only have to pick one version on your assignment. The question on the right top corner is exponential. If you notice, it crosses here, the y-intercept is at 2. And then it crosses right here at 6. And it doesn't cross anywhere else up there. And all of these are fractions. So if I write my function, oops, that's not how you spell pattern. Do you know what the pattern is? Dividing by 3. So I would write f of x equals, I personally like to pick the 2 because it is the 0 location, 0, 2. So if I pick 2 and I take 1/3 of it, x would be a -0 because I picked the y-intercept. Or if I wanted to be lazy, I could just type it in with the power of x because I don't have to put -0. Yeah.
When would you do x times 1?
Good question. I'm gonna try one. What if I started with the 6? Where's the 6 located? So when I put that -1 into this equation, it would switch it to an x plus 1. So the x is just manipulated by where the blue point is. So if I pick the 2, x is manipulated by 0. It's not moved left or right at all. If I pick this 6, then I have to make sure I manipulate the x and say that it's opposite, so plus 1 to undo it. Both are correct. Same thing, you're just going to pick one way. You don't have to write multiple equations. Try the bottom right question, then we will try it together. Are you done already? Why are you tired?
I don't even know.
Just coming back from the break. Coming back from the break's hard. Okay, I'm going to do the first part. I'm going to label points. It's touching at 1, 4, and I don't think it touches until up higher. My graph is going up, which means I need to look for the pattern going up. That's the most confusing part. The other graph is going down, that's why it was a divide by 3. This graph is going up. Does anybody know what the pattern will be? Yeah, what'd you get, Sam? Good job, yep. So when your graph's going up, you'll be multiplying by a whole number. When the graph's going down, you're just dividing. So f of x equals, if I pick 1, the intercept, I would times it by 4 and then put just an x. Or x minus 0. Let me pick. If you were like, oh, I'm going to use the 4. F of x equals 4 times 4 for my pattern. What would x have to be if I pick 4? It's a 1. So what would undo a 1? What would get it to go away? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can pick one or the other. Any questions on page 19 on making the equations? No? Awesome. Yeah, what's up?
Can I borrow your notes? Oh wait, do we have another page?
We have one more, but it's really easy.
I forgot.
You could probably do this one on your own without me even telling you how to do it. So I'm going to ask you, who thinks they can guess what the minimum is?
3.5.
Yeah. Okay. What about the lower quartile 1 or Q1? I heard 8.5. Median? And quartile 3?
15.5.
Mhm. Maximum.
16.
Easy? Hopefully. Just reading the box plot. The last one is a review. This will be on your test. There are 2 of them like this on your test. We are going to use our favorite calculator to have it help us find our slope and our y-intercept and our correlation. So, I'm going to switch up the screen a little bit. Okay. When I type this in, I'm going to type all of the values from this table. I'm going to steal my table so I can type it faster. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Then I type in the right side. 0.65. All right, it's taking me forever. Okay. Then what happens is I like to check, once I type it all in, I want to check to make sure they lined up. If I get to here and I typed all my numbers in, that means I missed a number. So just be careful about typing it in. Then I need the linear. And I know it's linear because it says linear regression right there. It wants the linear one. The data on my computer says, I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to switch the computer back. Can you see where I copied that from? I'm just copying it from here. I do not need exponential. I don't need any of this stuff. I don't need the standard deviation, right? Everything for your test is in one spot, but you'll only need the linear and the standard deviation for the test. Who knows what the linear regression would be? Okay, that is the correlation. So you said R equals 0.9326. That would be the correlation coefficient. And that is a strong correlation. Once it drops below 0.5, that's when it becomes weak. Yeah. Who would like to try the linear regression? That was good for the correlation. What would linear be? It gives you a little tip right here. And it gives you a tip right here. What was it?
Would be y.
What would the b? So I have y equals mx plus b. Y will stay the same.
So I would be 1.40057.
Yes, 1.40057, and most of the time it's just easy to put that in. Then I put the b.
Minus 5.
So to help out, these two values, so that one went here. This value went right here. And my correlation went, I'm just going to draw an arrow right there.
When did we just round it to 3 decimal?